Hello everybody, in this video I want to share with you my opinion about, first of all, the Messmer's Orb, which is an incantation, and the Spear of the Impaler. Now to get them both I needed to duplicate the remembrance of the Impaler so I can unlock them both and check them out. And because the weapon itself is faith and dexterity, you can also use this incantation because again it requires quite a lot of faith, and again, as you can see here, based on the stats, I have both very high. Now, first for the incantation. The cool thing about the incantation, you can actually delay the time that we actually stay during flight. Now, it's important to note when it comes to staying up in flight and holding the L1 button, basically you can get hit if you not time it right, you don't know the enemy's moves. But if you know how to do it right, it give you an advantage as an initiator. Now the same goes to the combo. It's it takes some time to get used to it because once you combo, you have very powerful combo for several attacks that can even deal 10k damage. But you land in a different direction, which can be an advantage for you, but sometimes a disadvantage. That's why it takes some time to get used to these type of attacks. When you combo, you can also change target on the fly when you're actually attacking, and this can be very good to eliminate several enemies, which works very well because it's a pretty long combo. So you can just do several attacks. Eventually you can reach to a point where you hit the ground and then boom, all these spikes goes up, and overall it's a very deadly combo that does massive damage. Of course it depends on the resistance of the enemy, but if they are not resistant or the resistance to fire is low, you can deal massive damage to them. So it takes time to get used to because there are lots of flight time, and it's not something like you can really time the dodge and the attack. You really stay in the air quite some time when you're doing the combo. So this is something you need to decide if you want to break the combo and not continue the combo, which you can do, just not continue pressing the L2 button. The incantation is very good to eliminating a large group of enemies like you see here, just jumping and eliminating them all. The most damage is, of course, the second explosion. Another good thing, because you are at a flight, you can actually hit enemies who are actually above ground. So it's actually very, very good. You also have reach, and you can actually hit above ground. Another great thing with the combo attack is that you can start it from a bit far. So again, before enemies even try their attack animation, you can just close on them, as you can see, and start dealing the damage. So this gives you an advantage compared to if you needed to go very close range. Also realize that during the combo there are lots of frames that you're actually vulnerable getting hit, so it's also something to keep in mind. Now here, for example, I realized that basically the poise during this attack, the ability to actually not get interrupted is pretty low here based on my experience. I just, so many times I got interrupted rather than being able to finish the attack. So again, this is one disadvantage for this weapon. That's why I think the incantation is actually great for initiation rather than trying to attack with your weapon, starting the combo. However, once the combo is in, you have great cover in terms of angle of, can hit several enemies with it. As you can see, it's great. Enemies around you can get hit. And there's another advantage, you can actually throw the spear as well, so you also have ranged weapon as well, as you can see here. Now, based on my testing, it does actually benefit from magma buff with the talisman, but it's not something probably that I would use in this particular case. Now, in general, that's what I use. I use the Godfrey icon, icon Scorpion Charm to increase the damage with fire. Each one's exaltation, which you use an incantation in order to be able to increase the damage, so I need to get madness. And Shard of Alexander. Of course, we can do different things, but that's why I use, generally speaking, with bosses and general runs. So overall, this is one of those weapons and incantations just feel well balanced. Doesn't feel anything that's going to be nerfed here. It doesn't feel OP. It is powerful and it can deal quite a lot of damage, especially to enemies who are more less resilient to fire damage. It deals damage to a group of enemies quite easily. You can easily eliminate a group of enemies, especially if they are weak ones. You have a really great combo. Once you get used to it, it does massive damage if you are able to nail all the hits in. It's great against enemies above ground, for example, and you also have the ability to throw the weapon and deal range attack with an explosion. So again, it's a very versatile weapon in that aspect, and including it works very well with the incantation if you want a good initiation. It's not really from that far away, but enough to kind of initiate it, so enemies before the enemies basically change to animation to either protect or attack you. So if you're looking for something super OP, probably these won't be the ones based on my testing. Again, maybe some will find something, a combination that works much better, but based on my testing, it's very good, but not OP, and definitely I don't see this thing getting nerfed because it just feels good overall. Strong, good when it comes to fire damage, and it's really fun to use, by the way. Thanks for watching.